I've got eyes that I can't see, forest for the trees, and I won't believe it till I see it on TV. I've got ears that don't hear, words don't come in clear, so I'll sit back and watch it all just disappear. Now we're standing at the end of the world, my friend, and there's nothing we can do about it now. Yeah, we're standing at the end of the world, my friend. We're gonna watch it all burn down. Yeah, we're standing at the end of the world, my friend. There's no place that I would rather be. Yeah, we're standing at the end of the world, my friend. We're gonna watch it on TV. Standing at the end. Yeah, we're standing at the end. Oh, we're standing at the end. We're gonna watch it on TV. Yeah, we're gonna watch it on TV.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Environmental Coffee House. I am Sandy Schoelles, and my partner Jennifer Hynes is with me. We hope you enjoyed the beginning and that it was worth my taking a chance because the song was great. Hi,
The
Jen.
song was great. Hi, Sandy. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good tonight.
Yeah, we've got a full house. Everybody, the intro music is in the show notes, and they also have a Bandcamp if you're interested. They have a YouTube, a Bandcamp, and they are called "Have Gun Will Travel," I believe. And
Ooh.
it was an accident that I found them. You'll find them. Check it out yourselves. I'm just hoping I wrote them, but maybe not in time, of course. So we got a show.
Well, We've got a show. We've got actually a pretty funny show tonight. We're paying tribute to the
Eh,
morons of the universe, which is always kind of fun, right?
some, only some, not all,
A little bit, a little
not
bit.
all.
That's one of the
Yeah,
things.
a little
So
bit.
so let's go over the overview. Our first one
Yep.
up is from is it haikai
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
130-year-old menus show how climate change is already affecting what we eat.
Yeah.
And then
That's
this
good
next
research.
one is
You want to really give it away?
well, no, it's a surprise. The next one's
Yeah.
a surprise. I won't even
Oh
tell you
God.
what it is. Okay.
Yeah. Tribute to
And
morons.
exactly. And then there is a tweet, which I won't tell you about either. So it's all this like surprises. You guys gotta
Yeah.
stick
We got
around.
surprise
Stick
night.
around. Stick around.
Yeah. It's surprise night.
Yeah. And then we've got one from The Atlantic. You can spot climate change in old restaurant menus, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
do that
well,
one.
that's the same one as the Hakai. So actually
Is it?
one was yeah, what the Hakai is what we're gonna
Let's
read it from,
see.
but Atlantic lifted it. So I decided to do it from
Oh,
Hakai. Yeah,
I
Atlantic
got it.
yeah, yeah. They added a few things, but I thought let's get the original publication in there.
Okay.
And it's a good
Okay.
one because the research is like you'd never would have expected on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Can't wait.
Mhm.
And then we've got one from the Jerusalem Post, if you can believe that. What is the most beneficial way to combat global warming? Study.
Yeah. Wait for that one.
And a new study projected that it is up to 85% more beneficial to limit warming to 1.5 C globally rather than to
Oh
the
no.
accepted 2 C.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one's gonna be a fun one for us to read, trust me.
Oh, yeah. And
Okay.
then we've got something from NASDAQ that we usually don't
No.
do articles from NASDAQ, but this is interesting. Hungary flags heat damage 2022 grain outlook. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
they getting
take a look
scared.
at what's going on with the food. And
From
then
Hungary.
yeah, from
Yeah.
Hungary.
Anybody hungry?
And then we've got one from India Times. Explained, what are carbon bombs and how are they contributing to global warming?
Mhm.
And that is a show. That's a show and a half right there.
And we also do have an intermission. We do have an
Yes, we
intermission because
do.
I always have to get up and stand, but we're going to try to limit the show and see if it's not an
Yes,
hour and a half because we're going to try. It's not
we're
always
gonna try.
easy. All right, so we're going to get everything started right now and Jennifer, how do we do
Yeah,
this? You want to go or you want me to go? The
you
time.
choose, Sandy. I am
All right.
letting you be the grande
I'll
dame
start this
completely.
one because I really loved it. And,
Good.
it's different. So here we go, guys. By studying the so called mean temperature of restaurant seafood, scientists have shown how the species that grace our plates have changed with time. I don't know who thought this one up, but I thought it was wild. So here we go.
Huh.
Vancouver, British Columbia is nothing short of a seafood paradise. Situated at the mouth of the formerly salmon rich Fraser River, the city overlooks Vancouver Island to the west, and beyond that, the open Pacific Ocean. Long before it had a skyline or deep water port, this was a bountiful fishing ground for the Musqueam, Squamish, the Salil, Watooth peoples who still depend on its waters for cultural and spiritual sustenance as much as for food. Now, today, tourists come from all over the world to taste local favorites like salmon and halibut, fresh from the water. But beneath these waves, things are
Mm.
changing. And doesn't Jim Massa always tell us that in his videos?
Yes,
Climate
he did.
change. Yes, he does. Climate change is an intensifying reality for the marine species that live near Vancouver and for the people that depend on them. In this new study, A team from University of British Columbia, UBC, shows one unexpected way that climate effects are already manifesting in our daily lives. To find it, they looked not at thermometers or ice cores. No, they looked at restaurant menus. With a
That's
menu,
funny.
yeah, you have a physical and digital record that you can compare over time, says William Shung, a fisheries biologist
Mhm.
at UBC and one of the study's authors. Shung had spent his career studying climate change and its effects on the world's oceans. He has contributed to several of the landmark reports of the UNI IPCC. But along with John Paul Ning, an undergraduate at UBC, he wanted to find a different way to both study and communicate these changes. Many people, especially in Vancouver, they go out to restaurants, they enjoy seafood. So we wanted to see whether climate change has affected the seafood that these restaurants serve, Shung says. The team gathered menus from hundreds of restaurants around the city, as well as restaurants from farther afield in Anchorage, Alaska, and Los Angeles. Current menus were easy to find, but digging into the history of Vancouver's seafood, that proved a little bit trickier. It took help from those local museums and historical societies and even City Hall, which the researchers were surprised to learn had records of restaurant menus going back over a century. To compile
Wow.
this is really cool, their unusual data set. In all, they managed to source menus dating back to the 1880s. So I guess the
Wow.
restaurant menu baseline, Jennifer, is 1880. All right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
this is and they came up with using their records. They called it an index, the mean temperature of restaurant seafood, which reflects the water temperature at which the species on the menu like to live. Predictably, they found that the mean temperature, right, of restaurant seafood, MTRS, of Los Angeles was higher than that of Anchorage, with Vancouver falling in the middle. But by analyzing how the MTRSs for Vancouver has changed over time, they found a significant trend of water species becoming uh, warmer water species becoming more common on restaurant menus. In the 1880s, the MTRSs for Vancouver was roughly 10.7 C. Well, it's now 13.8 C. I
Ooh.
don't know if I can make this bigger, but it's in the
Ooh.
article, and it's an old Hotel Vancouver menu, and it's pretty cool. So they saw on this and they said, "Oh, June 1888. Wow." And it's to track what we have eaten. So short of Soil and Green. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. One restaurant that became an important data point in the study was the historic hotel, let's see, Vancouver, and its restaurant Notch 8, which was a 10-minute walk from the harbor's edge in the city's financial district. The researchers were able to find example of the menus from the 50s, 60s, 80s, and 90s, and today. Absolutely brilliant. David,
Interesting.
yeah, Barshears is the Hotel Vancouver's executive chef. Born and raised in Vancouver, he owes a lot of his passion for food to growing up surrounded by the rich variety of the BC seafood. In high school, I had a friend whose dad had a fishing boat. Whenever they came back from salmon season, they always had a huge amount of prawn. We'd be on their boat cooking them up in a pot of water. The first time I ever sucked the head of a prawn was just eye opening to learn that there was, yeah, right. To learn that there was just so much you can do with food. Well, it's mind blowing. While a chef does consider people's dietary preferences, a menu is also a reflection of what is swimming nearby. Barshear says that
Right.
when he, and his restaurant staff are deciding what seafood to order, they have to strike a balance between availability and customer taste. So we usually have conversations with our suppliers. Okay, what's coming in? What are you going to be able to supply us with that we can put on this menu? Now, as warming intensifies, the species in high enough abundance to make it to menus are continuing to change. As Chung and Ning's work predicts, local cool water species like sockeye salmon will continue to decline on the menus. In 2019, British Columbia saw its lowest salmon catch in 70 years.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. In their place, southerly species are moving in. One of those most notable isn't a fish, but Humboldt squid, which have
Huh.
yes, they become appearing in both fisheries nets and in restaurants across Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah, from a chef's perspective, Bar Shears Bar Shears sees the changes as a mixed bag. New kinds of seafood are exciting to work with, but they come at a cost of beloved favorites. You get to know and love certain items, and when they decline and you no longer see the same fish around, it is a bit sad because you just have such fond memories, he says. The change also could affect Vancouver's massive tourist industry, as customers have come to expect certain species on their plates. Everyone waits for halibut season, Bashir says. And if you don't have halibut on the menu, people are asking why. Now, I have a couple of thoughts here. I liked it. I thought it was ingenious how they did it. But you know what? I wonder how long are we even going to have fish to eat that are edible, that don't
That's
sting
right.
you or don't have poisons? I mean, seriously, think about that.
Oh, absolutely, Sandy. Everything is declining, including the number of creatures in the sea. And you can see if the Humboldt, what was that? The Humboldt squid is now in Vancouver. So Humboldt is in Northern California. So the Humboldt squid migrated all the way from Northern California straight through Oregon,
Yeah.
straight through Washington, and now is all the way up at British Columbia in
Sure
Vancouver.
as shit is. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
that's a
Yep. Yep.
long way.
I.
And they
lo-
also said that it
Uh-huh.
was like 3°C warmer than it had been in the 1880s. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
In the water there?
In the water. It went up quite a few degrees, and they had
Wow.
so they're like I said, restaurant menu baseline. It's 1888,
No
1880,
kidding.
1880. Yeah,
No
and the
kidding.
restaurant had an 1888 menu. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Pretty cool, yeah. Hey, I'm glad that you
Yeah.
guys are out there with us because we know it's a holiday weekend in the United States,
That's
and
right.
but I don't like the holiday, and I don't like fireworks, so I'm perfectly happy here with you, Jennifer, and with you all, working on a good show. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So now Jennifer is going to take, and we do have a little video with this one, and we hope you can hear it. Jennifer's going to take the first moron, idiot, jerk maybe we'll start this new
Dear.
thing. Morons of what? The doom of the well, they're not in the doomosphere. All right, go for it, Jen.
Okay, so the title of this is, oops, it's a kind of a bouncy article. Why is it bouncing me all
The bison.
around?
I don't know.
It's like very okay.
Oh,
Bison tosses because the movement of it.
Yep.
Bison tosses man into a tree at Yellowstone National Park. So Sandy can show you the little video, which
You want me to
you
play
can
it?
probably put on. Yeah, and you could put it on an infinite repeat. You can still watch
All
it
right,
get
let
tossed
me
into the
let me
tree
play
bunch
let me
bunch of
play the
times.
video. Let me play the video really quick,
Yeah.
and then we'll read the article because I have
Oh,
to do
okay.
it this way. I have to do
Okay.
it this way. If I don't do it this way, we can't see it. All right, here we go.
All right.
That was it. Let's see it again. We gotta do it again.
Oh no.
idiot.
God.
Jim, you
My
clueless
God.
fucking moron. What the
Yes.
what are you? You are definitely a clueless moron, and we will get the overlays back on
Yes.
and the
This
screen
is
share back on, and here we
this
go.
is definitely in the moron category. My God. I mean, at some point, you just got to stop feeling sorry for people who do really dumb stuff. And I don't know how many times people need to
Uh,
be reminded, but stay away from bison when you're in a national park. About 5,000 bison roam Yellowstone National Park, and even at half capacity right now after severe flooding, there is still countless morons that can't wait to run up and pat one like they're at the county fair.
mhm.
We've seen two people gored in the past week and another earlier this year, and that doesn't include all the bozos that managed to escape from the charging beast or duck behind a car. And let's be honest, this is nothing new. Since Yellowstone opened its doors, people have been doing dumb stuff. Take the video back from in the day. It's hard to tell exactly when it was filmed, but judging by the picture quality, it has to be quite a while back. But regardless, this guy gets the bright idea to tangle with a bison and literally gets launched into a tree. We're talking like 10 feet into the air, flipping around out of control, crashing back down through the branches, and all
God.
with just the slightest flick of the head. The man emerged with only a wounded leg, presumably from the horn. But damn, dude, what did you think was gonna happen?
I'm
Luckily, the
sorry to
injuries
laugh.
were not more
Severe.
severe.
Thank
Yeah.
God, right? But still, and then there's more surrounding the tent, but that's not going after
Yes.
them. That was, I don't
Herd
know,
of
Jennifer.
bison surround camper's tent. Now, this is clueless fucking moron night. Herd of
It
bison
is.
surround camper's tent. Come on, let's go for it. We've been
David.
too serious.
Hi,
That
David
would
Price. Somebody's with us. I just want to say hi, David Price. David's here. Wait. I have to read his comment. When I was younger, we called people like this the Darwin Award winners, except most of them don't
yes.
survive. You're right. There's a whole thing on Reddit called the Darwin winners. Oh yeah. Hi,
Yeah,
David.
totally.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that it's yeah. We have all right. Now I have this is another. This is more. We have the what the fuck are people thinking moment. And sorry for the words tonight. There's no sound to this, but this is the floating oil tank, the Safar ship or whatever, which carries more than 1.2 million liters of crude oil located in Yemen, specifically in the Houda, is it Hodia? Governat. Governate. Um, Governor threatens the marine environment of the Red Sea. And forgive me again, at any moment, this tank will explode and leak crude oil. This is really, if
Oh,
I'm telling you guys, like, why can't this be cleaned up? Look at it.
oh.
Uh-oh, wait a second. Okay, is it playing? It should be playing. Watch again. Watch again. All right, it's not that long, but look at that thing. It's just like floating along the water, and
Mhm.
it's going to leak out exponential amounts of look at it. It's just been neglected for so long.
Oh, it's just
And
sitting there like
yes,
dead.
yes. This is like what is wrong with people? All right, well this guy was talking about it, but the problem was he was
اليورو
talking
برميل
about it
من النفط.
in a language that none of us understand probably.
We don't know what
So
it is.
he was talking about well what here's what he's saying. We are all stupid. We are all fucking clueless morons. We knew about this forever and did absolutely fucking nothing. There you go. Let's fast forward it. Okay, so that's what he did. Oh, and all of them, they said exactly the same thing. We were all clueless morons. We did absolutely fucking nothing. And now here we are. Okay.
Oh, wow. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
It's just
Look
rusting
at it.
away, just
Disgusting.
crumbling. Wow.
So that's
And it's got oil inside of it.
yes, it's completely filled. It's
Oh
completely
dear.
filled. Look at this big thing floating around. So anyway, I want to show you what, because we've seen enough of this. The next one, I think the answer to this was here's somebody then that said, "Uh-oh, that's not what it was. There was another one. There was another answer to this. Hey, I lost it. There was an answer to it, and it was show not just this. I had tweeted it to you, but there was an answer to this thing from someone else, and that is really weird. Oh well, I can't find it. So we're done with that one. And then Jen,
Okay.
I'm also gonna let you take the Jerusalem
Okay.
Post,
Sure.
because this one
Absolutely.
I will call the wait, let me see if I have a sound effect, because this one is like the big moment of duh, or are you fucking kidding me, or I'm sorry for the name, for the sound, my mouth, my dirty mouth, but I came across these things today, and this is like okay. You'll tell me whether this should get the flush of the
Okay.
day.
Okay.
You go
All
for it.
right, guys. Let's go. Let's go. What's the most beneficial way to combat global warming? This is a study. A new study projected that it is up to 85% more beneficial to limit warming to 1.5 degrees globally rather than the accepted 2 degrees C. All right, let's see what these guys are even thinking about. Limiting global warming to 1.5 C is much more beneficial than 2 C. A new
You think?
study led by the University of East Anglia, has
How old is
found.
this new study? God, sorry.
Well, um, it
Oh,
was published
I know.
yesterday.
Oh
It was
my
published
God.
yesterday.
Okay, sorry guys, we're
Yeah, just
ruining this for you.
I'm sorry. All
It's the
right,
duh moment.
let me straighten up here. The International Paris Climate Accord, signed in 2016 by 195 nations, sought to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees C above pre industrial levels, while aspiring to ideally keep warming to 1.5 C. Using risk related metrics of human exposure to harmful effects of global warming, the study examined the effects of global warming on Earth. If global warming was limited to 1.5 C above pre industrial levels by the end of the century. Yeah, these people, right? Okay. These effects include droughts, declines in crop yield, exposure to malaria, coastal flooding, heat stress, and water scarcity. The research team calculated the risk factors in 3 scenarios: one in which warming is contained to 1.5 C, another to 2 C for comparison, and one where global warming was allowed to reach 3.66 C. Allowed to reach. Okay, just language, like we're in charge of it all. Um, the researchers found global benefits to limit warming by 2100 to 1.5 C, citing significantly significantly reduces exposure to droughts, flooding, heat stress, and diseases, and more compared to 2C global warming world and 3.66C global warming world. The study projected that it is up to 85% more beneficial to yeah, limit warming to 1.5 C
Like,
globally.
how long have
That's
we known
true.
this?
It is. Oh my God. I mean, this is like, let's just get through it. The researchers also noted while water scarcity globally decreases in all scenarios, that should not be seen as a benefit of global warming. This, that is because the increase and decrease of available drinking water will be regional, and because there is reduced water scarcity, there is often an associated increase in runoff and consequently flood risk. Hotspots at risk from global warming. The study also found that by limiting global warming to 1.5 C, South America, Indonesia, and some isolated patches of Russia will be the few regions that would not benefit from the warming drop. Overall,
Drought.
Africa, India, and the Middle East were identified as hotspots for increased exposure to drought, with numbers also expected to increase in South America, Europe, and East Asia. The risk of flooding is most evident in West Africa, India, parts of East Asia, the study found, adding to previous studies which concluded that vulnerable populations in Africa and Southern Asia will be disproportionately impacted by global warming.
Okay. They just, I don't know. It's the same study. It's been done for the same study for 20 years. So, well,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
they're acting like they're in control, so I wish them luck.
ah, I hear
Well, they
you.
say, because they're all like giving the permission, if it is allowed to do this and stuff like that.
Oh, God. Well,
You know.
anyway, Jennifer, do we do
Yeah.
intermission? Because I do, guys, I
Okay.
have this really
Yeah.
cute website I found. They are open source and they are teachers. They're educators, and it's so cute. Those of you that have little like grandchildren or kids that in this increasingly really really disturbing political environment, this is the kind of stuff that in the United States, I'm afraid, is going to be taken away. So we're going to give you a little glimpse. It's all information you know. I think you're going to enjoy it. Here we are at intermission. We love you guys. Enjoy this cute little intermission so I can stretch.
In the lesson on climate change, we saw how the release of extra greenhouse gases into the atmosphere causes the planet to warm. In this video, we will look more closely at the effects caused by the supply of thermal energy the Earth gets from the sun. Here is a simplified graph of the average global temperature. You can see that over the last 2,000 years, temperatures have varied, but today, average temperatures are already 1 degree warmer on average than they were 100 years ago. Pause the video and think of some problems that this global warming might cause. You may have thought of changing climate, extremes of weather, problems for ecosystems, rising sea levels, or ocean acidification. Let's look at these one by one. Climate change. Although the greenhouse gases are causing average global temperatures to rise, there will be places, such as the northern polar regions, where the rise will be much more drastic than in other places. Some models suggest, for example, that the Gulf Stream, which keeps Western Europe relatively warm in winter, may not reach so far north. As a result of this, Northern Europe may actually get cooler as the planet warms. Patterns of rainfall will also change. Although a hotter world would have more water evaporated from the seas, this water may not rain down as it does at present. Some places will undoubtedly have more rain, causing flooding, whereas others may have less rain, causing droughts. Another consequence of temperature change is that natural ecosystems will need to adapt. We are already seeing this with European crops. Sunflowers and colza, that's rape, are replacing oats and barley. Humans can cope with this, but natural ecosystems can be badly affected. If trees come to leaf early, as the climate warms, and the caterpillars hatch early, the local birds may miss this feast. When their eggs hatch, the grubs are gone, and there's little left for the baby birds to feed on. With more energy in the atmosphere, we will see extremes of weather. We are already seeing more violent storms causing floods and landslides, also aided by the loss of forests on mountainsides as crops replace forest or the wood is used as a fuel. Sea levels are rising, partly due to the warming of the oceans, water expands with heat like in a thermometer, and partly due to melting ice. If ice in mountain glaciers melts, that clearly will add extra water to the oceans and contribute to sea level rising. But here's a problem to think about. Do you think if the ice melts at the North and the South Poles, this will also cause a rise in sea level. Remember that the Arctic ice is floating, but Antarctic ice covers the landmass called Antarctica. Pause the video and think. Well, Antarctic ice, like mountain glaciers, is above ground, and if it melts, it will add water to the oceans. But the ice floating in the North Pole will simply contract into the space it displaced, and the sea level will not change. You can try this by floating an ice cube in a completely full glass of water. Does the water overflow as the ice melts? Try it. As sea levels rise, so more and more of our coastal cities will be threatened by flooding, especially at high tides and in stormy weather, and in low-lying countries like Bangladesh, the Netherlands, and in some Pacific island nations. Another problem comes from the extra carbon dioxide that dissolves in the sea. A good thing, you may think, because this removes some of it from the atmosphere. But the problem is that this makes the seas more acidic. Remember that carbon dioxide reacts with water to form a very weak acid, carbonic acid. It ionizes to form hydrogen and hydrogen carbonate ions. The warmer temperatures, coupled with the greater acidity, are causing coral to die, threatening the world's beautiful coral reefs. One final problem is what is called positive feedback, which actually is a bad thing. For example, Arctic ice reflects sunlight back into space, keeping the planet cool. As the ice melts, the reflecting white ice is replaced by dark water which absorbs sunlight. This heat makes more ice melt, which in turn allows more heat to be absorbed in a positive feedback loop. Another problem is that as the frozen northern marshy regions melt, methane, which is also a greenhouse gas, previously locked in the ice, is released, adding to the gases in the atmosphere, thereby causing more warming, and so the cycle goes on. So to summarize, global warming is already happening and is beginning to cause changes to our climate. More storms, floods, droughts, rising sea levels, and oceans becoming more acidic, ecosystems under pressure. See our linked video to find out the evidence for all this.
Okay, we're back. We are back. Sorry, I had us muted, a little muted.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
Oh.
liked it. I think that what I worry about with this is that it's good information. They're open source, but in Texas and in Florida, they will probably deem this controversial material. Probably deem
Mm.
that controversial material. Unfortunately, isn't that sad?
It just frustrates me when ignorance is embraced, and it's so
Yeah.
easy to embrace knowledge rather than ignorance. And this is people's process. This is where they're
Yeah.
at in their consciousness that they have to embrace ignorance
Yeah, because
sometimes.
that's good learning.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we have two. We have the Hungary. Do you want to do this one and the last one, or how do you want to do this?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Whatever you wish, Sandy, I am here at your
Wish,
disposal.
why don't we do this and I can make the faces that go along with the fact that this is about Viktor Orban's fascist Hungary and the NASDAQ magazine is writing about it. How about that?
All right.
Okay.
So let me just get a little water before we get started.
All right.
Mm. Hungary flags heat damage 2022 grains outlook. Grain harvest starts early. Heat has damaged about a tenth of last year's acreage. This is in
Mhm.
Budapest, June 28th. So this just happened. Hungary's 2022 grain crop prospects have been substantially damaged by extreme hot weather and lack of rainfall. State news agency MTI reported Agriculture Minister Istvan Nagy as saying on Tuesday. The heat wave has also prompted an earlier than usual start to the nation's grains harvest. Hungary, one of East Europe's top grain producers, ordered a ban on all grain exports in March because of price increases caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Hungarian grain crop totaled 13.7 million tons last year, down 12% from the previous year, partly because of dry weather conditions.
Mm.
MTI cited Nagy as saying that farmers have so far reported heat damage on nearly 230,000 hectares, about a tenth of last year's total grain acreage.
Well, Jennifer, I think that
Wow.
this signifies that it's very important to start growing your own food, even if it's on your deck in a
Wow.
container. And, there's people that are unapologetic vegan is going to be a guest, and she's
Mhm.
trying to grow different things totally than I grow. So, more grains. And I'm not growing grains. So it'll be
Mhm.
interesting to have that show. Absolutely. Um, but it was interesting because it's being reported and, well, I see we have a couple of new people in here. Well, Kinky
Oh,
Streets
great.
is
Welcome, guys.
here. LA comedian. I have no idea what the chat's doing because we're busy. And I'll say hi to Rich, Diana, and Scott, and Tom Hall, Bongo Dave, astrologer, climate witness. Hello, I'm waving to you with my purple
Hello.
nails. I love her. And
I love
oh my goodness, Old Sage Joe and Kim, thank you for moderating as
wonderful.
always. She's such a fabulous mod. And
Yes, she
Scott
is.
Andrews is a mod now also. I can't forget.
Oh, good. Good,
So
good,
it's great
good.
to see you, Jean. Hi, thank you, and Shoo Shoo and Billy Joe Schmo and Bongo Dave. Thank you. I did want to tell you. He said, "I love this channel, depressing as it is."
Well, we deal
We
with reality, but we
Yeah,
still try
we
and be human, you
and
know?
we aim to please.
We
We aim
do.
to
We aim
please.
to please. We do.
So, we have one that usually we have a good one for Jennifer to do the home run end of the evening with. Go ahead, Jennifer.
All right. So this just out today, guys, hot off the press. This from the India Times, and it is in the explained column. What are carbon bombs and how are they
Ooh,
contributing to global warming? Good to get your head around this.
what are they?
Climate change challenges countries all over the world. Due to human activities, the climate is changing constantly and intensely. Climate holds an important place in many aspects of our lives, such as food production, transport, economy, water, air, wildlife, and health. Due to rising temperatures, serious changes are occurring in our climate, which in turn causes severe consequences for future food security, water resources, health, as well as biodiversity. So the world is becoming warmer. Since the Industrial Revolution, the temperature has risen by 1 degree C, making the world warmer and warmer, which is
Yeah.
known as global warming, which causes our climate to change.
Look at that
Our
picture,
oceans.
Jennifer. Look at that. Ugh. Oh, it's so
Oh,
sad.
yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
sad. It's industrial race waste in the Yamuna River.
It's,
Oh my
oh,
God.
it's very sad. Since the Industrial Revolution, the temperature has
Sorry.
risen about 1 degree C, making the world warmer and warmer. Okay, I said that already, which is known as global warming, causing our
That's all
climate
right.
to change. Our oceans have also absorbed about 30% of carbon dioxide released since the Industrial Revolution, causing the water to turn more acidic. And here's a nice melting glacier, ice going away, probably somewhere in the
Wow.
Himalayas. Extreme
Whew.
weather is becoming more frequent and more intense. Flooding, droughts, and forests all over the last few decades. Flooding and droughts often damage farmlands and infrastructure, while forest fires carry severe risk to our health. Scarcity of proper food and water will make most of the land uninhabitable and can affect thousands of lives as people need to leave their house and move to some other place to live. What are carbon bombs? According to the definition given by The Guardian, carbon bomb is an oil or gas project that will result in at least 1 billion tons of CO2 emissions over its lifetime. Oh, yay. There are over
Look at
195 projects in a similar line are defined
okay.
across the world. Some of the countries include the US, Russia, West Asia, Australia, and India. The report states, as per the Paris Agreement of 2015, these countries will collectively overshoot the limits of emissions. The Guardian used the term carbon bomb in an investigation project. Under this project, the plans of countries and private companies across the globe to engage in 195 carbon bombs. Some of the Indian projects are Carmichael Coal Project, owned by Adani Group, Jevra Coal Mines in Chitka, owned by Coal India, and Rajmahal Coal Mines in eastern Jharkhand, owned by Eastern Coalfields. What does this research reveal? The investigation to identify and defuse carbon bombs was conducted by a group of lawyers, environmentalists, and activists. Simply put, it was identified that projects of countries and private companies have the possible potential to contribute to global warming. Carbon bombs are coal, oil, or gas which produce pollution during the process of extraction and also emit carbon when burnt in large quantities. The report revealed that more than 60% of these carbon bomb projects are already underway. Further, the threat of methane was flagged other than coal, oil, and gas. The investigation report mentions it routinely leaks gas from its operations, and it is a powerful greenhouse gas trapping 86 times more heat than CO2 over 20 years. Now, that one
Lovely.
is correct. That one is
Lovely.
correct. The dependency on fuel from conventional sources and not utilizing emerging green sources of energy is also criticized by the report. Diffuse carbon bombs. The aim of the network, called Leave It in the Ground initiative, and the acronym is LINGO.
Lingo. Okay,
LINGO.
tattooed. I want to get it. It's going to be my next tattoo.
Oh, is it?
Lingo. Yeah. And everybody
All
will ask
right.
me what it is. But
All
nobody,
right.
yeah. Right
Leave It
here.
in the Ground
Lingo.
initiative. And the mission is to leave fossil fuels in the ground and learn to live without them.
I'd like to.
It further, well, I just have so many things to say, and I'm just not going to say them right now. It further focuses on organizing ground support against such projects and challenges through litigation and conducting research analysis. It considers the burning of fossil fuels the prime reason for climate change can be renewable energy. The methods like increased forest cover and decreased man-made emissions will help to attain net zero emissions into the atmosphere. What is the Paris Agreement of 2015? Does somebody not know?
Do do
Paris
do
Agreement
do
is
do
an
do do.
international agreement to fight global issue of climate change. In 2015, the governments, it's funny that they didn't mention the COP though. They just said it was like an agreement, like it was random. It wasn't. In 2015, the governments of 195 nations came together in Paris, France to discuss a possible new global agreement on climate change with the objective to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to combat climate change.
There they are. There they
And there
are.
they all are. During this landmark meeting agreement, during this meeting, a landmark agreement was signed and popularly known as a 32-page Paris Agreement. It has 29 articles.
Yep.
In the agreement, the global rise in average temperature to 2°C, and strive for a target of 1°C as compared to pre-industrial levels. The English was a little bumpy in that, I thought, but I got the general idea.
Oh yeah, good pictures and a good
Yeah,
descriptions. And we have a carbon
yeah,
bomb. We have a
we have
carbon
carbon.
bomb.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Mm.
wow. We're going to go back to being you and me.
You and
Hi,
me.
Jennifer. Hi,
Hello.
Jennifer. We have made it to 51 minutes. That
I
really is for and we
know.
had no toilet flush. So I'm going to ask everybody out there, what article at the most that we did between the menus and the bison guy, who gets the toilet flush? I'll give you a second. I wish I had a do. If you don't give us a toilet flush, Jennifer, can you think of something you would like to flush?
Oh, I would definitely give it to this guy who got thrown up into the tree by the
All right.
bison
All
for
right.
being a dumbass.
We're going to give this guy the environmental coffee house flush of the day. Come on, dude. All right, Jennifer. Somebody else said that. Yes.
Oh,
That
yeah.
Patty said that. The bison guy won the yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh. He go, oh, everybody said it. That was
Oh,
good.
okay. Well,
Everybody
I
got
didn't
well.
know that because I didn't see it in the chat, but I was just
Yeah.
thinking that's the one, you
You
know.
got it, baby. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was really interesting to look at the menus, the 130-year-old menus, and the different fish that they used to catch in Vancouver and stuff like that. That
yeah,
was
it
just
was.
amazing. How,
Yeah,
like, squid from Northern California are already in Vancouver in 130 years.
interesting stuff, huh? It was. I
Yeah.
really loved the research on the menus and the different things that people are eating because in 20 years from now, I think the menu will be a quarter of a page if you're looking at seafood. I'm sorry, I had
Oh,
to
it's going
do
to be
it.
Soylent Green, baby. Tuck up to the table and chow down. Damn.
Oh Lord. Well, anybody that's
Oh.
new here, please like and subscribe. And the buy me a coffee is cute, and it's certainly not something you have to do. And we thank everybody, every single one of you that does donate to us for the expenses to the channel. I want to thank you so much. Thank you. And you know who you are. I'm not going to go through all the names and all that stuff because you know who you are. And thank you. Okay. And hi, Jeremy. It's nice. He says the jellyfish will be on the menu.
Oh, totally. No,
Oh,
that's one
yeah.
thing that's growing really big. Like, actually, now that we're talking about it, we have a couple of minutes. The jellyfish are the only thing that seems to be thriving in the sea, and they're getting caught, ironically, in these nuclear reactor intake valves,
Ew.
and they're freaking
That's
700
really
pounds.
disgusting.
They're
That's really
giant.
disgusting.
They're giant
Ew.
jellyfish, and they're so huge, and they're tearing up the fishermen's nets and everything. Oh my
Oh
god,
my
they're just
God.
yeah, it's amazing.
Jennifer, that just yeah, that's nauseating. But think about all of these invasive species that get caught up in the barnacles that have been brought
Mhm.
to the Great Lakes and just another I guess just another ewy kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thank you. Jen, you got anything else? Because we
Yeah.
did have well, you said you had some comments. You said we have a couple minutes. You had some comments.
Oh no, I had my inner snarky dialogue going when I was reading some of these articles, and I've got the inner snark inside me because I know too much. And so I
Jennifer's
read it with
inner
the
snark.
my inner snark was
Oh, you're
going.
killing me.
Oh yeah, no, it's true.
Wow.
And so I mean, I can either externalize my inner snark and tell you what I'm thinking, or get through the goddamn article and we'll talk about what we don't like about it, if we remember. But yeah, the inner snark is
If
definitely
we remember.
in force right now.
Yeah. Well, Dee Dee loves your inner snark. I do too. I love it too. Jennifer's inner snark is so perfect. It's perfect for me. She got the
Well, I
perfect
try
inner
not to
snark.
be too negative because then people think that I'm just like too negative or
stop.
too hostile or
Well,
whatever.
not
But
on
I
this
just
show. We
it's
have
just
the
like
perfect mix.
yeah,
Trust
exactly. And
me,
it's just like I get
Yeah.
so jaded by, all this different stuff, and so it's kinda hard to keep the inner snark at bay, you know what I mean?
Well, you're doing a good job. I guess you got a invisible lasso because I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Jennifer, that was good. We love
Yeah.
you. We'll see you next Sunday. And we made it to almost just a little shy of an hour, which is like really good for us.
Yeah,
Maybe not
that's
for
good. We're
you,
on
but
time today.
yeah. All right, guys. We love you. Peace out.
Peace
And
out.
we will see you soon.